Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Well, do you want to get into the FPV hobby? You know what? Unlike camera drones, when I say camera drones, that's like DJI drones, Autel drones, Hubsan, Unique. Those are beginner drones. The reason the whole hobby calls them beginner drones is because as a beginner, you can go and buy it off the shelf and charge up the batteries and go fly. There's no skills required. The skill is in operating the camera and the drone at the same time. That takes a lot of skill. That's why some people can't fly a camera drone and film well. However, there's another hobby out there called the FPV, first person view hobby, which you see me review a lot of drones on this channel. That is not a beginner hobby. That is an advanced hobby. You cannot just jump into that hobby and fly. It takes skills, it takes knowledge, everything else. And the worst part is that if you want something good, it doesn't come in a kit. You buy like the drone and then you have to go buy goggles, any ones you want, and any type of radio controller, any type of battery charger, any type of battery. That's why it's a very advanced hobby, because you're not stuck with what you get in the box. A few companies have made FPV beginner kits and I've reviewed all of them, pretty much all the good ones anyway. So this is the Tiny Hawk 2 by Emax. This is an FPV beginner kit, comes in a bag. It's really good. The drone is the best thing about this. The goggles are so-so and the controller so-so, but yeah, if you want to get into it, it's probably the least expensive and the drone is really good. Then after I did a review on the Emax kit, Beta FPV said, hey, Steve, we loved your review on the Emax one, but our Beta FPV beginner kit is even better. So this is it here. This is the Beta FPV Advanced kit. And just like the Emax kit, you get the goggles, you get the radio, you get the drone, you get the battery charger, you get the batteries. Everything's in the kit. You don't have to buy anything else. And is it better than the Emax one? Well, the goggles, in my opinion, and the radio controller are better. But I kind of like the Tiny Hawk drone in the Emax kit. The drone in here is okay, but I don't find it as good as the Emax. So you see, and the price differences are slight. So now, well, now GEPRC said, hey, Steve, we loved your reviews on the Emax and on the Beta FPV kit, but ours is even better. Is it better, really? Well, this is it here, and I'm here to tell you that yes, it is better. It's better. It probably costs a little bit more, but it is better. The goggles, they're pretty much the same as in the Beta FPV kit. They're really good goggles. They have a record in them. They're very good range with those goggles. The controller, way better in here. The radio controller, way better in here. It even has the option to bind up to 3 different drones. So if you had 2 other drones, you could bind them to that radio controller. And finally, the best thing is the actual drone itself. The drone itself is awesome! They put a really good drone in here, and they even have a model, the one that I have here. It shoots, flies around FPV, so you see the image in your goggles, but it also shoots at 4K 60 frames per second resolution onto a micro SD card in the drone. And you're going, really? Yeah, this thing here shoots at 4K 60 frames per second on this tiny little under 250 gram drone in here. So let me show you it. So this is the little drone, and it's called, well, the whole kit is called the TinyGo. So this is the little drone. I'm probably showing you a close-up of it right now. Now the radio looks like this, and I'm probably showing you a close-up of it right now. The radio is pretty sweet, a lot of switches on it. And finally, the goggles look like this. Now look at me over here. Here's the goggles. I'm going to show you a flight of this here, flying indoors, because they actually advertise it as an indoor flight drone. And with it being winter in my area, Canada, well, what better than to fly a drone around indoors? See these goggles? These are called box goggles. And over here, I have the goggles I use for my professional FPV drones, and these are Fat Sharks. These are not called box goggles. The reason they're called a box goggle is because when you stick it on your head, looks like you're wearing a box. And box goggles are the least expensive on the planet. These ones are full featured and are pretty darn decent. Now, as you can see, I wear glasses, and box goggles like these ones that come in a kit are, you know, pretty small in size. So they are designed to fit on your face if you don't wear glasses or you have tiny little specs. So I cannot fly with these on my face, because if I take off my glasses, they fit perfectly, but everything would be blurry inside because my prescription is for a person who is farsighted. So I can't use these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly this baby with my Fat Sharks. And what's really cool is you're going to see the video quality out of that 4K 60 frame per second camera, and you're also going to see the video quality out of these here goggles recorded inside. All right, so I have everything super wide angle because I'm going to take this baby for a flight. I have never flown this before, so this is my first flight with this. It's either going to take off from where it is and smash me in the face, but yeah, you'll get to see it here first. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these goggles that you get, the included goggles, I'm going to turn them on and I'm going to press record so it records the image. Now, these should be on your head, and you know, when you move your head around you get better signal, but I'm going to leave them on the ground so I don't think the signal is going to be that good, and the image is going to be so-so, because when you record image in goggles, even in the Fat Sharks, they are not designed for cinematic footage. They are just designed that if you lose your drone, you just play back the video and see where you lost it so you can go find it. So I'm also going to record in my Fat Sharks, and you know, it's low quality as well. It looks much better. What you see to the eyes will look better than the video. And also the drone records in 4K. Well, at least it should, but at least it says that in the specs. So you'll have 3 images that I can switch between as I show you the flight. Now, my house is not that big, so this should be pretty interesting, because normally if you fly a drone in the house, you usually want a 1-cell battery, but this here baby flies on 2 cells, like 2 batteries. So we'll see what happens. Here we go. First things first, turn on the controller. It starts to vibrate since there is nothing connected. Next thing I'm going to do is turn on the drone. There we go. Drone is on, powered, and I'm going to put it over here, and we're almost all set to go. Next is turn on these goggles. I should see an image. Yes, I see myself. Do you see me? Here we go. There we go. That's what I see inside right there. The drone is looking at me. I'm going to hit the record button on here. Record. Record's on, so that's good. That's going to sit there. Next, I'm going to turn on my Fat Sharks. I'm going to find what video transmission channel it is shooting out from. I'll do it automatically. I'll do a scan on the Fat Sharks. There we go. It's telling me it is channel 8, and I see an image. All right. We're all good. Now I'll turn the Fat Shark record on. All right, so Fat Sharks are recording. Everything's good. Take off my glasses. And like I said, hopefully this doesn't whack me in the head. Here we go. Ooh, I see myself. This is like out-of-body experience. Pretty cool. All right, so to arm it, it's this switch over here, I believe. And it's already in angle mode for indoors, so it's armed. Here we go. Let's take it up and not kill me. First flight with the TinyGo, here we are, and the voice you're hearing now is a voiceover. I had a buzz in the microphone I was recording with, so I'm doing a voiceover. But what I want to show you here is, well, the image you see. This is 60 frames per second at 60 megabits per second, which is really decent. And this is coming out of the little tiny drone, the TinyGo. It's pretty decent, but watch this. This is even more decent. This is the image out of the goggles, and look at the Fat Shark and the TinyGo goggles are almost identical. The reception is really good. Now watch this, I'm going to take it upstairs and the reception is going to be A-okay. I was really impressed. I've jumped back here to the image coming out of the TinyGo because it's so clear and so smooth, really good. Here's the reason I was not flying outdoors on this day of filming. It's really, really cold and there is a bit of a wind, but you can't see it with the trees moving. I'm going to switch back to the goggles. I'm upstairs, lots of interference, but check them out. They're actually really decent. The image transmission going through, you know, my floors, it's actually quite good. Of course, I'm jumping back to the onboard camera because it is pretty awesome. But yeah, overall, really impressed. And here I am going through some more obstacles and then taking this here drone downstairs. I'm going to come back to me. You'll see I'm just flying over to where I took off from. And I'm going to land on the table in front of me and give you my thoughts. So my thoughts on flying it indoors, well, it's really good for flying indoors. You can tell they really, really worked on designing this drone for indoor flight. The ability for this here communication system in the radio to shoot out and shoot through and keep on controlling it in the house was good, but that was nothing compared to the actual video signal. You always see a weak video signal with kit drones because, you know, a tree gets in the way or something gets in the way and it doesn't work out that well. But this seemed to work quite well because in the image that was recorded on this here device, these goggles, well, I didn't see any interference, so that was quite good. And of course you saw the footage coming right off the camera in the front, which looks really decent. Now, if I fly this outdoors and I fly it straight forward in acro mode and not trying to go slow to miss walls and everything, then obviously it's going to look even better. One thing I should mention too is, I don't know if I pointed it out earlier in the video, but they actually, to make it indoors, they actually put a type of foam molding around the prop guards. So it's designed to bang into your walls side to side and just bounce off without damaging your walls, which is a really good feature on a little drone that's for indoors, because a lot of indoor drones do not come with that. They just mark up your walls, but no, this one's really good. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is what comes in the box. Let me show you that really quick. So you get this bag. It's a shoulder bag. There's a strap that comes with it. And let me show you everything that comes in this bag. First off, the shoulder bag is made extremely well. It's a very nice shoulder bag with many, many zippers and pockets. You can put lots in it, as you see here when I open it up. This is how it comes. You have 3 little sections. First item out would be the radio controller. Check out the switches on top, an awful lot of them. There are switches dedicated to almost everything you need as a beginner in flight. You don't have to then set everything up in beta flight. You can if you want, but you really don't need to with this. It's really, really good. Next, we have the included box goggles, and you can see there's an awful lot of buttons on them as well. You can search for any channel you want, any band. You put a micro SD card in to record video. The display inside is quite clear, very bright, perfect for someone just starting out. You also get an accessory bag which contains 2 antennas, a USB cable, and a video cable. The little TinyGo drone comes all set up, even the receiver's connected. The antenna, you just pop it into place and you're all ready to fly. You get 4 batteries with this, so it takes 2 batteries each flight. A full set of spare props are included, a screwdriver, an extra battery strap, and some zip ties are included. A USB battery charger is included. You can put all 4 batteries on at once and they will all charge at the same time. Since they included a really high quality camera, you get this little device that you hook up to the camera and you can change the settings of the camera. Included are instructions for the radio and instructions for the goggle, just to tell you about all the buttons. No GEPRC product would be complete without GEPRC stickers. Finally, you get a GEPRC business card with links to all their social media sites. When you remove the plastic off your drone, it looks like this. Just point the antenna straight up. Look at this. Weighing the drone with both batteries in it, it only weighs 80 grams. Very light. The only item missing from the kit would be 4 AA batteries so that you can power your remote. To set up your goggles, just attach the 2 5.8 GHz included antennas. Also insert a micro SD card for recording. Charging the goggles is done via the provided USB cable, and don't forget to charge up your batteries. Everything will be red, and when everything is fully charged, it will be green. For your very first flight, just insert the 2 batteries and then connect them. It's quite easy. They only connect one way, so don't worry about messing it up. Once everything's connected, locate your radio, power it on, put it in angle mode, and find the arm button right here. I'm showing you it, and the motors will start spinning. Move the left joystick up, and you will be flying. To get an image in the goggles, just power them on. They will automatically find the channel and you're all set to start flying with the goggles on your head and crashing. There's also a record button. If you want to record your flight, just press it. Make sure you have a micro SD card in. If you want to watch back your video from recording, just make sure you put this here menu into DVR and then just play back the video. It's that simple. And now you're wondering, can you fly this little baby outdoors? Well, you can. It says that, where is it? The controller here says it has a 300-meter range. So certainly you can take it outdoors. It's extremely windy out right now in my area because it is winter and it's extremely cold. But here, check out the video of it flying outdoors. All right, heading outside for the very first flight. It's -9 Celsius, which is 16 degrees Fahrenheit. You'll see me here. I put the drone on the back of my Jeep. I'm all excited. I'm going to show you that I'm going to record on both sets of goggles so I can compare the image as well as use the 4K camera, which is right here. This is the onboard 4K camera. Looks pretty good. There is some wind the farther I get away from my place because I'm blocked by trees in my area, but it's not too bad. It's quite smooth. Shooting into the sun with the 4K camera, still a very acceptable image. I like it. Now watch, I'll switch over to the goggles, and there you have the Fat Shark and the TinyGo goggles. Not much difference between the two of them. Of course, you can do freestyle on the drone. I did make a mistake when I was flying. I thought I had it in acro mode, but I must have switched it into horizon mode. So all the flight that's going here, this is horizon mode, not acro. Horizon mode is really good if you're just starting out on drones. Now, I'm doing a little bit of a distance test here. I just want to see the reception between the two sets of goggles, the Fat Sharks and the kit goggles. And look at that. They look pretty much identical for how they're getting reception. When you see the low battery, that's because I'm still using the same batteries for my flight indoors. So yeah, I'm getting to the end of the 6 minutes of flight time I would normally have had. Now, this is kind of funny. I bring it back to me and I want to land it back on the bed of my Jeep and watch what happens. I miss and I crash into the ground. Let's watch that again. Here we go. So yeah, the drone bounced off the Jeep onto the pavement and it's still working fine. So that just tells you that it's pretty good. And now let me go over some of the specs of this here product because it's pretty darn decent. Check this out. So these goggles right off the bat, the display inside is an 800 by 600 resolution. So that's usually the higher end of goggles. In the olden days, you wouldn't get 800 by 600, but I guess that's kind of standard today. And that little screen inside that you saw me looking at, it's 4.3 inches in size. Fully charged, you'll get over an hour of usage on the goggles. And over here on the remote, you will get 2.5 hours if fully charged. Speaking of the remote, it's an 8-channel remote. And coming back to the goggles, speaking to the goggles, you have to put a micro SD card in it so you can record the video image. It's got a whole DVR built in. It's got a lot of really cool features built in. The drone itself with the included 2 batteries will give you 6 minutes of flight each time you put the 2 batteries on, and there is a battery charger included as you saw in the unboxing. The flight controller in the drone is an F4 flight controller, and the ESCs are at 12 amps because the motors are so tiny. Speaking of the brushless motors, they're 10,000 kV, so they do spin pretty fast. The props are actually name brand props, not cheapy props, so they're 4-bladed Gemfan 1634 props. Now if you're wondering about the camera in the front is the CADDX brand, CADDX brand. That's really good because most drones I fly nowadays seem to, in the FPV hobby, all seem to have that brand of camera in it. So really good camera, and the video transmission system in here to shoot out the video signal is quite high. It's at 200 milliwatts. So that's why when I was flying it indoors, you got the signal no problem. And the specs say that the flight range for this, with this drone and this controller, you know, it is a beginner kit, will give you 300 meters of flight range. You might not think that's a lot, but in the FPV hobby, that's plenty, especially if you're just learning with goggles on. You don't want to fly too far because you're going to get in trouble and lose your drone. The radio itself is haptic feedback, so right now it's buzzing. I'll bring it up to the mic so you can hear it. There you go. That's what it's doing. It's vibrating, and it's doing that because it's saying there's a problem. And the problem is I have not connected the batteries on the drone, so they're not connected. So if you fly out of range or something goes wrong, you're going to get that haptic feedback signal. So let me connect the batteries. There we go, and it stops. The drone does come with a finder buzzer, so if you lose it, so I've got it plugged in right here. I'll show you right now. There's a little switch on the top here, buzzer. So that is what I would hear as I'm walking, looking through the grass. Just listen for that sound, and that's where the drone is. Turn off, just switch the buzzer off. The radio also comes with a flip over and crash. So say you're flying along and you land and your drone flips upside down. So I'm going upside down here. I'm just going to lay it, I don't know, can you see it? The camera's shooting far away. Sorry about that, guys. So on my switches here, I have flip over and crash. I put the switch on that, and then all I do is move the right joystick and watch, it will flip over. There we go, flipped over. It's that simple. Just make sure after you flipped it over, you've got it right side up. You take the switch and you take it off, flip over and crash, and put it back on normal, or else you'll go to fly and it's just going to flip upside down on you. So now I put it back on normal, and if I fly, then it's back to normal. And I can fly it right here in front of me. Very easy drone to fly. As you can see, I'm talking to you while flying. Hey, get back in picture. Whoa, whoa. There we are. Yeah, really good drone. I like this one. And there we go, put it down. So all I can say, guys, is I'm going to put links below this video to where you can find this one. I will say, out of all the kits people have sent me so far, I know everybody's going to ask this. Yes, I think this is the best one so far. But it might also be the most expensive. I don't know. There are 2 versions of this. There's one with the 4K camera, which I highly recommend you get, and there's one without the 4K camera. If you have a choice, you have the money, go for the one with the 4K camera, because none of the other drones on the market in the beginner kits have that. So this is the one to get. Yeah, that's all I have to say on that. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you have questions on it, post them below. If you want to know where to find this awesome little GEPRC TinyGo, the links are below. Check it out. It's actually on sale right now. As of today, I'm making this video. I don't know when you watch this video if it's still on sale. Hopefully it is, because then it would be a really good deal for you. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you in future videos with many more reviews. Take care.